What's up, you guys? It's Cody Steck. Welcome back to the channel. In this one, we're talking about 4 different things that you need to know before you make a move to Utah. There's a lot of people who watch this channel and they're moving here from other states or even from out of the country, which, by the way, love it when you guys reach out. Please do so if you're looking to buy or sell real estate and make a move here to Utah. Even if you're looking to rent, we do have a program for that as well. Love it when you guys reach out. But we've had a lot of people who watch this channel, they watch these videos trying to figure out, hey, what is it like to live there? What do I need to know before I make the move to Utah? So we're going to cover that here in this video. We're just going to take a walk around the neighborhood here and show you, or tell you rather, a little bit about what you need to know. Also, guys, make sure to watch this video all the way through to the end. Number 4 on this list is going to be something that get asked about all the time, and if you're thinking about making a move here, this is something you're going to want to know. First thing I want to talk about is going to be the weather. You are going to get all 4 seasons here in Utah. Now, this is something that's going to be a little bit different depending on where you're moving from. You know, some of you are moving from very hot areas, some of you are moving from very cold areas, or somewhere in between, right? But Utah's kind of the perfect spot overall because you do get all 4 seasons. It's going to be hot and dry in the summer. You're going to have temperatures 90, 95, 100 in the middle of summer. Spring and fall are going to be very nice. You're going to have some temperatures that range from probably, let's say the 50s overnight, 60s or 70s during the day, maybe the 80s depending on the time of month or the time of the season. You're also going to get pretty mild winters. You're going to have temperatures in the, let's say 20s or 30s on most days. Sometimes it can get down to the teens or even single digits overnight. It can get a little bit cold, but for the most part, winters here are pretty mild. It can even get up to the 40s on some nice winter days. So that's kind of like the perfect temperature. You know, you're gonna get a lot of snow. The temperature is gonna be very mild. You can still get outdoors and do stuff, and you can still go and enjoy yourself during the winter, which is really nice. So you will get all 4 seasons. That is something to note. That's something that I personally like, is you get a little bit of variety throughout the year rather than just having the same exact weather year round. All right, next up, I want to talk about the cost of living, because the cost of living here in Utah is not what it used to be. Over the last couple of years, we've seen prices go very high, especially when it comes to housing. Housing is obviously going to make up the majority of somebody's expenses on a month-to-month basis, whether it's paying rent or it's paying a mortgage. And the cost of living here has gone up substantially. You know, when it comes to your other daily amenities such as groceries or internet or utilities or gas, those things are going to be quite in line with what you expect to see across the rest of the country. Gas is a little bit higher here, not quite as high as in California, but it is going to be higher than what you'll see in other western states or even in the Midwest. So that's something you kind of have to take into account. But for the most part, it's, the cost of living here is going to be pretty average, I guess you'd say, across the board, except for when it comes to housing. Now, when it comes to housing, the cost of living has gone up substantially. For a 3-bedroom, depending on the area and, how nice the place is. If you're looking to rent, you're going to pay somewhere between probably $1,700 and $2,500 per month. If you're looking for a mortgage, of course, that will depend on how much you purchase and how much you put down, your interest rate. There's a lot of factors that go into that. But for the most part, your median priced home is going to be around $500,000 here in the Salt Lake City area. So that's something to kind of keep in mind when it comes to making a move here. The cost of living has gone up, and that is something you need to kind of take into account before you make your move here to the area. I should also mention, though, with that, when it comes to the value that you get for what type of home you purchase, you are going to get a lot more value than I think you would get in other areas. Again, one thing that people always comment on or mention when they make a move here to Utah or even just visit is that you can get a very large home for a very reasonable price. When we're talking about a $500,000 median price, that's still going to be a 2,000, 2,500 square foot home in most areas. You can get 3,000, 4,000, even 5,000 square foot homes in a lot of areas for between 600,000 to 800,000. Now, that's still a high amount, that's still a lot of money, but you do get a lot of value for what you're paying for. Now, number 3 on our list, I need to talk about the access to the outdoors. I mean, just look at this mountain range here behind me. Let me back up here and show you that. I mean, that is just absolutely phenomenal. We're here in Sandy, kind of up on the east side of the valley, and only, probably about a half mile from the base of the mountain. You can see the mountains right now. There's, just beautiful green foliage all across them, and you still have snow on top of the mountains here in the middle of June. So we do get, awesome access to the outdoors. That is something to know. That is the reason why a lot of people move here, is they love to go hiking. They want to go climbing. They want to go skiing. They want to go fishing. They want to go hunting. Whatever it may be, people want to be outdoors when it comes to living here in Utah. And that's a big draw for a lot of people who make the move here. Now, the flip side to that is that unfortunately it is getting quite busy. You are going to see a lot of traffic in the canyons. You are going to see a lot of other people on these trails. You're going to see other people on these climbing routes. You're going to run into other people just throughout these normal daily activities, even just doing stuff around town, right? If you want to get on the golf courses here are extremely busy. It seems like everybody wants to go out and golf, and it's very hard to get a tee time. You have to book them well in advance. So although the access to the outdoors is extremely easy, it is getting a little bit busier, so that's something to kind of keep in mind. Of course, you can still go out and do it. You just have to be a little bit more savvy about the time of day and what days you actually go out and do those things. All right, so number 4 on our list, this is probably going to be the most important thing. This is something I get asked about all the time, and that's going to be the Mormon influence here in Utah and how that affects your daily life. Now, if you're considering making a move here to Utah, you probably already know that there's going to be a lot of Mormons here in the state. After all, that's what the state is known for. However, the numbers are probably not quite as high as you may think. If we break down the numbers a little bit by city or by county, you're going to see some interesting information. Now, I made a video about this in the past, so you can find the full statistic set from that previous video. But as far as some of the numbers I want to cover right now in this video, for the city of Salt Lake, it's actually only about 25 to 30% of an LDS population. Now, for the county of Salt Lake, which includes all of the cities in the Salt Lake Valley, you're actually sitting closer to about 40 to 45%. Now, you will have some areas that are going to be higher than that. If you go down to Provo or Orem, you're going to be closer to 75 or 80%. So there are some areas where the population of Mormons is going to be very high. However, that being said, on a day-to-day basis, it doesn't really seem to affect people all that much, especially if you're an adult. The population is so low that yes, you are going to see people, you're going to meet people, you're going to have neighbors who are LDS, you're going to see people at church, or going to church, but it's not going to really affect you on a day-to-day basis. It's not going to prohibit you from having a cup of coffee, enjoying a drink, or doing whatever it is you want to do. Now, if you do have kids and you're making a move here to Utah, I do think this can be a little bit higher of a concern. You might want to just be a little bit careful, do your extra research, figure out what areas are going to be high population, low population, figure out what's going to be the best thing for you. Now, I'm not saying that, hey, you should move to an area or you shouldn't move to an area based on this, but just figure out what's going to be best for you and your family so you can make that right decision. Unfortunately, as kids, sometimes those kids will start to group together with friends who are doing the same things as them. Those kids are going to see each other at church every single week. So naturally, children who are part of the LDS faith are naturally going to group together, and the ones who are not are probably not going to group together. So that can be a little bit of a concern. I've heard that from other clients of mine who've moved here. I experienced that a little bit as a child myself, but for the most part, I think, it's something that you just kind of navigate. It's kind of an interesting and unique part of living here in Utah, and it's something that you kind of just work through, but you should know about that before you make a move here. Again, as an adult, I really think it's a non-issue. I don't really think you should be worried about it all that much. It's just good to know kind of what you're getting into. So make sure to check out that other video of mine as kind of part of your final decision-making process. Now, with that said, guys, if you're looking to buy or sell real estate here in Utah, my team and I service the entire state. Please reach out to me. You can find me at Cody@fastutahhomes.com. My information will be here on the screen. Call, text, or email anytime. I love hearing from you guys. And with that said, we'll catch you guys in the next one.